What's up, Force fans, and welcome back to the Star Wars Vault. Today we're coming at you with another breakdown of The Mandalorian, Episode 6. This episode is brought to you by the Star Wars Vault. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. The episode starts off with the Razor Crest landing in the spaceport hangar bay. The Mando exits the ship and a man named Rand, played by Mark Boone Jr., Bobby for you Sons of Anarchy fans, called out to the Mando. They have worked together in the past, and Mando is back to help them free a crew member who is captured by a rival crime syndicate. They need the Razor Crest to complete the mission. Rand then introduces the Mando to his crew, starting with a man named Mayfield, played by Bill Burr. Mayfield was a former Imperial sharpshooter, and they make a joke that he wasn't a stormtrooper. The next member, a Devaronian named Berg, played by Clancy Brown, the voice of Savage Opress, and Mr. Krabs. The Devaronians made their first appearance in A New Hope in the cantina scene on Tatooine. There's also a Twi'lek girl named Xi'an who has worked with the Mando before, and they clearly had a history. And finally, a droid named Zero. The whole crew is basically sizing the Mando up in this scene. Next we see Zero in the cockpit of the Razor Crest. He sees a scrambled image from Greef Karga. Outside the ship, they are discussing the job, where we find out that the guy they are trying to save is locked up on a New Republic prison ship, a max security transport. The transport is manned by New Republic droids only, a selling feature for the Mando who hates droids, most likely because they killed his whole family. The rest of the plan is laid out, and it is decided that due to the crazy flying required, Zero would be flying. The crew boards the Razor Crest and flies off. During the next scene, Mayfield and the rest of the crew are messing around on the Razor Crest, going through all of the Mando's weapons. The Mando walks out and shuts the door of the weapon container. This starts a bit of a confrontation, and we learn a little bit more about the Mando's history with the crew, particularly about a job on Azok 3, where the Mandalorian must have done some sort of crazy dope thing. They try to intimidate the Mando to remove his helmet, and a struggle breaks out. The Mando punches Berg in the face, and Berg catches himself on a door frame. He accidentally hits a button, and it opens the door to Baby Yoda's container. Mayfield, in shock of the baby, picks him up and starts to mess with the Mando, pretending to drop Baby Yoda. Suddenly, the crest is thrown out of hyperspace, and Baby Yoda goes flying. The Mando jumps over top of Baby Yoda to cover him and protect him. The Razor Crest lands on the ship, and the Mando puts Baby Yoda away. The job begins, and the Mando uses some safe cracking tech to unlock the port door, and the crew jumps down onto the prison ship. As the Mando is about to jump down, he glances over at the locker where Baby Yoda is, and then heads in. The crew is sneaking towards the control room with guidance from Zero, who has remained on the Razor Crest. We see a few creatures locked up in the cells as they pass, including an Ardinian, the same species played by Jon Favreau in Solo. While walking, the crew runs across a mouse droid, who Berg shoots and draws out a group of 4 Republic guard droids. They fire on the crew, and we see the Mando disappear. The crew is pinned down, and when they look back for the Mando's help, he is gone. All of a sudden, the Mando comes up from behind the droids and completely destroys them all, like a super Mandalorian ninja. The crew makes their way to the control room, where a Republic human guard is waiting for them. The ship was only supposed to be operated by droids, and this immediately starts a standoff. The guard pulls out a Republic tracking beacon that, if pressed, will bring a New Republic attack team to their location. Mayfield wants to kill the guard, and the Mando tries to negotiate, but Mayfield refuses. The Mando and Mayfield, in a standoff, start to yell at each other when suddenly Xi'an throws a knife and kills the guard. The guard falls to the floor, but not before activating the beacon. With the beacon activated, the crew now only has 20 minutes. They run to the cell where their comrade is being held, and it is open. We see a male Twi'lek, the brother of Xi'an, a man named Quinn. Clearly the Mando and Quinn have a history, and as soon as Quinn leaves the cell, they push the Mando in, lock the door, and run off, leaving the Mando locked up. The next scene, we see Zero unscrambling the message from Greef Karga about the Baby Yoda. We flash back to the Mando in the cell. A guard droid is walking past the Mando. The Mando shoots his grapple at the droid, pulls him towards the cell door. The droid reaches in and fires at the Mando. The Mando rips off his arm and uses the gun to destroy the droid. He picks up the arm and uses the arm to unlock the door. The Mando heads back to the control room and he cuts the power, starts slamming doors to prevent the rest of the crew from escaping while also separating them. The Mando also cut their communications with Zero. Zero on the ship, however, draws his attention to Baby Yoda, who's now sneaking around the ship. Back in the control room, we see the Mando pick up the Republic tracking beacon, and it cuts to Mayfield and Quinn. Quinn tells Mayfield he will triple the share of what Rand promised him if he can take out the Mando and get them off the ship. Finally, Berg makes it to the control room where Mando is hiding in the vents. He shoots his grapple around Berg's neck, and Berg yanks him out of the vents. They fight. Berg is kind of whooping the Mando, but as soon as Berg steps into the doorframe, the Mando throws a dagger at the doorframe and slams the door down on Berg, Rancor style. The Mando tracks down Xi'an where they fight, and we don't really see how that fight ends. It immediately cuts to Mayfield walking down a hallway. The hallway is very dark and Mayfield is clearly freaked out. Then, from behind, we see the Mando approaching Mayfield in the flashes of light, like a horror movie, and he finally overtakes Mayfield. The Mando then catches up with Quinn, and Quinn convinces the Mando to take him in and get the payment from Rand that was promised. Quinn drops his blaster and holds out his wrist for the Mando to cuff. In the next scene, we are back in the Razor Crest, and Zero is still on the hunt for Baby Yoda. He walks up to the locker, and we see Baby Yoda standing there. Baby Yoda closes his eyes and raises his hand like he's about to use the Force. Zero brings up the blaster and points it at Baby Yoda. Then we see Zero spark and explode and fall to the ground. In another classically cute Baby Yoda moment, he looks at his hands as if to say, "Did I do that?" But we see the Mando standing behind Zero with his blaster. The Razor Crest takes off and flies back to the spaceport where Mando turns Quinn into Rand and gets his payment. As soon as the Mando leaves, however, Rand speaks into a mic and orders someone to kill the Mando. We see a ship start to raise up from the floor. Then, suddenly, Quinn hears some beeping, and he reaches into his pocket and finds the Republic tracking beacon that the Mando must have placed on him at some point. 3 X-Wings drop out of hyperspace and pass the Razor Crest. The X-Wings, one of which was flown by the man himself, Dave Filoni, lock onto the gunship and begin shooting at the ship and the spaceport. The Mando takes off into hyperspace. We see the Mando unscrew the little ball on the ship lever and hand it to the Baby Yoda. The episode ends with a scene back on the prison ship. We see Mayfield, Berg, and Xi'an locked in a cell, angry and defeated. And that's where it ends. Another great episode. This is probably one of the more exciting ones. Only 2 episodes left this season. I imagine this is where we're gonna kind of wrap up the story and get into a little more of the meat in the next 2 episodes, which I'm pretty excited about. But I did enjoy this episode. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Please remember to leave a comment about the video or what you guys want to see, or if you like the channel, if you hate the channel, whatever. Also, don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe to the channel for more awesome Star Wars content in the future. Thank you again for watching the video today. May the Force be with you always, and we'll see you guys in the next one.